Hey, ShadowZone fans. This is Brian James, your host, your ghost host with the most. And with me for the past couple of weeks is this douchebag over here, Cass.
Huh?
What? I said you're beautiful, sexy like a chocolate strawberry, baby.
Pretty kitty, pretty kitty.
Man, we have a great show tonight, Cass. We have not just one, but two people from two different teams. And dude, they kick major ass. Dude, turn your mic up.
I like that plan. Kicking major ass is good. Hey, Marianne.
Well, as everybody knows, ShadowZone Paranormal Podcast and Global United Paranormal Foundation is sponsored by Ghost Energy Drink. If you're a paranormal investigator and you are tired on the job, it just makes sense. Grab yourself a Ghost Energy Drink and get your paranormal spirit energy right back up. And if you guys are looking for a place to where you can show evidence, you can share evidence, you can show your videos, and all that other good stuff without any of the BS or drama of Facebook, then I got the place for you. Cass, where do they go?
Go to parapost.net.
That is if you don't want the app. But good answer, good answer. If you guys want the app for Parapost, it's simple. Go to your Google Play Store, download the app. It runs on Android. It runs on iOS, Apple, laptops, computers. And this is the cream of the crop platform. It's for nothing but the paranormal. So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to Parapost and sign up today. It's free. So, there's something I want to show the fans here before we get to our lovely guests here. You made something for me, and I want to show it off because I'm proud of it. This is what I would look like if I was Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm not a sexy bitch right there.
You look hard boiled.
I don't know. I kind of thought pepperoni pizza-ish. Erica, what is up? So our guest tonight is from Night Watchers Paranormal Australia. We have Pete on the show tonight. The second guest is a surprise, and I'm going to let her come on and introduce herself because she needs no introduction, folks. Neither does Pete, but I don't know. It just sounded right to introduce Pete. All right, so we're just going to kind of watch them here, make sure, they're going to do something funny, pick their nose or something. We'll catch them in a blooper here. No? All right, forget it. Come on, Pete. You can come on my show now. Oh, we got him. And, of course, his bestie. We won't even say her name. We're just going to bring her on. Surprise.
How you going? From another nestie.
How you going?
It is going fantastic. Yeah, the besties. I like it. I like it.
Oh, I love it.
You got to introduce yourself, Ange.
Angela from Spirit Crew Australia.
Spirit what?
Spirit Crew Australia.
Spirit Crew. That's a snazzy name. For the life of me, the reason I said to go ahead and introduce yourself, you needed no introduction, was, it was 3/4 of the way through. The other quarter of it is I couldn't remember your team name for the life of me.
We could have just left it to the first part.
I'm just kidding. You didn't need no introduction. You're awesome, and you know it.
Thank you.
Cass, I think she believes me.
Huh?
What?
What?
What? Dude, don't make me come to Colorado.
I don't think your arms are quite that long.
Dude, I will elbow drop you like Macho Man.
And I will cry like a little girl.
I would pay money for it, buddy. So, Angela, please tell us about the Spirit Crew.
Well, we started around about 4 years ago. We're a team of 4. We have a gentleman called Mark, my mother called Georgia. Yes, I have my mother with me. And we, yeah, well, she's got the gift of the gab. She's the one that gets attacked all the time, so we need her along.
She's the guinea pig. All right.
Yeah. And I've also got Brenda. So, yeah, we travel around South Australia first, and we come over to see Pete, which I've done quite a few times now. We've been through to Sydney. We've been through to Victoria. And yeah, so we pretty much just go to haunted locations, but we go to unknown locations. So, which that means is that we try to find locations that haven't had much of such a history, and pretty much go with, is it haunted or isn't it? You know, we like to go off the bat and surprise ourselves. And we've had a lot of luck so far.
So, virgin territory. Okay.
Correct.
I like it. I like it. Mr. Night Watcher Australia, tell us about yourself, big boy.
Well, as for me, as you all know, that I've partnered with my best mate, Dan Rickard. Now, we've been mates for, wow, over 30 years. It was funny how we started. We kind of were sitting around bored one day, and he rings me up and goes, "Oh, come over for a coffee, mate." Yeah, no dramas. Rocked up to his place, and we're sitting out the back of his place. He goes, "What do you reckon we start a YouTube channel?" And I've gone, "Oh, yeah, let's give this a crack, see how we go." Yeah, we actually started off doing food tasting videos. Really unusual ones, from strumming the stinky fish to 1,000-year-old duck eggs, but it just didn't quite hit the spot. It wasn't, yeah, it was great. It didn't really hit the spot for us, and we thought, well, how about we do something that we both love? And hence, paranormal is something we both love. And next thing you know, that's how Night Watchers Paranormal Australia was born. And it's been a ride ever since.
Now, for our American audience, you guys are like the ghost hunters of Australia, right?
Pretty much. We've been pretty lucky, to tell you the truth, both Dan and I. We're with Paraflix, the streaming service out of Hollywood, California, which runs our content through the United States. But we're also with a German streaming company by the name of Ghostflix TV. And our content's pumped to about, I think it's 10 countries now through Europe. So we're starting to get quite the following, which has been amazing. You know, we're both pretty thankful for being picked up by these streaming services, and we've got some interesting stuff planned with Ange and Spirit Crew Australia that could shoot us right out there. It's amazing what we've got planned. So yeah, it's been really interesting.
Very nice. Very. You know, me and you there, Pete, we kind of have similar stories, you and I, bud.
Really?
Not to mention we both look damn good with shaved heads and beards.
Damn straight, mate. You know it. You know it.
We're brothers from across the pond or something, man.
100%, mate. 100%.
You primates and your lack of manes.
You shut up, you freaking alien. I'll dissect your ass.
Speaking of bi.
So when I started my paranormal team, it was 8 years ago, as of January 25th.
Okay.
It was me, my buddy Rick, who I've known since I was 15, my ex-brother-in-law, who I've known since I was 17, and our buddy John, who I'd known since I was 21. Well, I was, 30 when we started the team.
Yeah.
And we're just sitting around watching Cops.
Okay.
You know, that's our big thing, to work cop fanatics. My wife will get so pissed off. It's been 10 fucking hours. Turn the goddamn show off. Like, dude, they just started rerunning it. No, I missed some. But we were sitting around one day, and it just popped up, you know. Wouldn't it be cool if we started a paranormal team? Like, well, you know, I just happen to have 6 180-page notebooks that are full from me watching the shows, taking notes, and studying it. You know, I think I have the know-how. I think I could teach you guys the ins and outs. So, yeah, let's do this. So we sat around the back table. We were smoking a bowl and trying to come up with a good name. You know, I don't smoke anymore, but and my brother-in-law, he came up with a name that I literally fell out of my chair laughing. He says, "What if we call this team Ghost Bumps?"
Oh, good
Ghost
Lord.
Bumps.
Oh,
Yeah.
good Lord.
Ghost Bumps, that's different.
Like ghost, but minus the T, and then bumps.
Nice.
Well,
I like it.
long and short of it, after I told him he was a moron, we ended up calling the team the Spokane Ghost Crew.
Yeah.
And then just here recently, we merged with AZPRI's Elvin McInville and Southwest Para Abnorm Jason Graham. And, well, they're both in Arizona, and I'm stuck up here in Washington, but that's another story for another day. I'm getting down there soon to go to work, but, you know, we formed a super team called Global United Paranormal Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, we've been a team a little over 2 months now. And what would take a team normally 2 to 4 years, we've accomplished in 2.5 months. Like, we're just on this super highway, man, and there's just nothing in our path. It's a phenomenal ride. Yeah. And then we discovered this dude over here. Yeah, he's kind of like our little puppy we found on the side of the road. Oh, he's so cute. I think I want to take him home. We'll name him Whiskers.
Unfortunately, I peed on the carpet. So
Oh, wow.
Yep, he got the newspaper a couple of times, but I'm in the process of training him.
Nice.
Brian doesn't know I like the newspaper. No, in all seriousness, I'm basically a traveling healer / exorcist. You know, so
Wow.
I've always wanted to do what you guys do, and so yeah.
Wow.
Here he is. So I want to know what got y'all into the paranormal. I mean, was it an experience? Was it just a crazy idea in that head, or what triggered it for you?
I'll let you go first, Ange.
You pointed the wrong way. You went like that. Or maybe here.
Oh,
That way. There we go. Got it.
right? In StreamYard, right is left and left is right.
That's it. That way.
Bestie?
That way. Yeah. No worries, bestie.
All right. So for me, it started, like I said, 4 years ago, we started the team. But before that, I'd say a paranormal investigator, but let's just say without filming or anything like that. It was more about, you know, I think validating from what I saw when I was much younger. We grew up, I think this always happens, and I know a lot of these stories are similar, but we grew up in a really haunted house. You know, we're talking back when I was like 10 years old. We lived in this house where so much happened, and my father got to see a lot more than what I did. I mostly felt it, and I saw it a couple of times. My sister used to get attacked, so she used to get sheets ripped off, scratches constantly. So she would actually stay at my grandmother's quite a bit. My other sister, she was hardly at home, so she hardly saw anything. But with myself, it was that feeling. I don't know, as a kid, you'd run and you'd feel something heavy behind you. You know, you'd hear whispers constantly. You'd hear, until one night I did see a black figure. It was a black shadow, and he had walked out from the tree in the backyard, and the dog was going ballistic, was just barking and going crazy. And then as we would walk out and have a look, obviously nothing was there. This actually followed us for quite a lot of years. So in every house after that we'd go to, my dad was still experiencing a lot of the paranormal, seeing faces when he wake up in the middle of the night, getting his hair pulled or hit in the back. It just kept going throughout the years. And my mother was a registered nurse, so she would see so much. And she was always so open to the paranormal. And that's where it was always an interest of myself and my mother, because we get along really well. We have a lot of laughter. You know, it's she's real from what she does, and she has her own experiences. But to combine them together, it just validated things a lot more. And as we just got older, I always felt there was more attachments attached to my family, not just necessarily myself, but my dad and my mother, all of us. So we just, as we went on, it validated a lot more for us. And we've gotten to find out what it is, where it's come from, and so on. It's taken a bit of time, but yeah, it's been an interesting ride, I would have to say.
Well, I gotta say, one of two things happened here in your childhood. Number one, your mom and dad were a horrible judge of houses picking.
Pretty much.
Either that, or you had a spirit that was severely wanting to be a part of your family.
I don't know why.
Hey, you seem awesome to me, and I'm sure your mom and dad are pretty cool too.
Yeah, they are. They are awesome. Yeah, they are one of a kind.
Very nice. Very nice indeed. What about you, Pete?
Okay, there's a couple of experiences that has actually happened in my life, and the first one was about 12 years old. My father was an interstate truck driver, so a lot of the time he was gone. Now, we lived in this old Queenslander home. What that is an old timber home with a veranda right the way around it. Now, it was made in, I'd say, 150 years ago. Now, this place there was always something there, because my mum used to sit up at night and wait for my father to come home when he was due home. Now, there was this one night, my brother and I shared a room. My brother is 3 years younger than me, so he'd gone to bed a bit earlier and he was asleep. I'd gone to bed, jumped into bed, and I'm lying there, and all of a sudden I felt these hands come up and pin me down to the bed. Now, I couldn't move. I was absolutely terrified. Didn't sleep a wink that night. And as the sun rose, these hands disappeared. So I pretty much leapt out of bed screaming, looked under the bed, and there was nothing there. And the reason why I know nothing was there is because when we were younger, we always got my mum to check under the bed to make sure no one, because she was at home by herself with us kids, she always looked under the bed to make sure no one was there or in the house. So that was a terrifying experience as a young child. And I found out later in life, when I started this paranormal journey with Dan, that my mum was able to see things when we were young. So she always felt there was a negative spirit in this house. So that was the first experience I had. later on in life, only I'd say about 17 years ago, 18 years ago, when my son was born. My partner at the time, she was in hospital, and I'd gone up and witnessed the birth of my child and spent a bit of time with him. It was about 1 o'clock in the morning. About 12:30, I'd head home. So I jumped in the shower. I was the only one at home at this time. I had a shower, jumped out of the shower with the towel wrapped around me, ready to hop into bed. And then all of a sudden, every single light in the house was flicking on and off, and every door, cupboard was slamming, opening, and closing. I actually freaked out, and I'm standing there with a towel wrapped around me, freaking out. And I screamed at the top of my lungs, "Stop!" And it all went dead quiet and pitch black dark. Now, that night, I spent the night in my car. I was terrified. Yeah. From there,
this tells me two things about you, Pete.
Yeah.
Number one, you're a horrible picker when it comes to houses. And number two, you screamed like a little schoolgirl, didn't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
of course I
Come
did.
on.
I did. It was terrible. Like, I just wasn't ready for it. So once I slept in the car the night, I just got the family, and we're out of here. I'm done. I'm done with this house. But in saying that, it really spiked my interest in the paranormal. I was more, once I'd calmed down and got over my experiences, I thought to myself, well, there has to be something more. You know, I wanted to find out that truth, that evidence. That's why Dan and I do this, and incorporating Angela with us with our projects that we've got together. It's, I think, for all, how many of us, 4 of you guys and 2 of us, all 6 of us, it's about finding that truth and that evidence. So with that experience there, it was an eye opener, that's for sure.
Oh, I bet. You know, the lights keep flickering and doors keep slamming. I'm probably shitting myself, then screaming like a little schoolgirl, and then probably running straight into the door and knocking myself out, and the ghost is going to probably have his way with me and be gone.
That's why I will admit I did scream. It was, I wasn't ready for it at all. And I was out there like still in the towel in the middle of winter in my car, sitting in a towel, freaking out. So that was awesome.
I bet you that was a little more chilly than normal.
Yeah, she was cold that night, I tell you. It wasn't good. I'm sitting there. I think it was, I don't know what it is for your temperature, but it was like, I think it was about 8 degrees Celsius, and I was freezing. It wound up the windows, turned on the car, put the heater on. But yeah, it was not a good experience that night. I was terrified.
Dude, I'm with you, man. That would have terrified the hell out of me too.
Yeah. It was good.
So, in Australia, I mean, the U.S. cuisine and the Australian cuisine are obviously different. What is the main dish of Australia that you guys like?
Go for it, Pete. You know all about
Okay.
No shrimp on the Barbie. Can't say that. That's off the table.
No, that's the thing. You guys call it shrimp, right? We call it prawns. They're prawns to us.
Right.
I've never thrown a prawn on a barbecue ever.
No,
boil them up. Way to go.
I have
Yeah.
no
Really?
idea
That tastes
where that
nice.
comes from. So
I like it.
you either
You do?
deep fry them sons of bitches or you don't eat them.
No, we just boil them up and away we go. Angela,
Yeah.
you're different. You like them on the
You're
barbie, I
different. The things that you eat are just way out there. Right?
Yeah, I've really got a very obscure what I eat. I love heaps of different things. Like I've tried crocodile, I've tried water buffalo, I've tried goanna, I've tried snake, I've tried, you name it, I've tried it. But I guess, as you see, meat pies and sausage rolls are pretty much, a lot of people love that stuff, and that's a good lunch. But for me, I guess because I've got a little bit of Italian heritage, for me, I like a good pasta. You give me a good pasta and I'm happy. But yeah, my son, he loves his hot dogs and pies and stuff like that, and I'm like, you're crazy. But I guess pies and sausage rolls are pretty much Australian staple diet, aren't they, Ange?
They pretty are. Yes, I'd say that.
I'm telling you what, man. I'm a meat, potatoes, and pasta type of guy. Vegetables, fruit, they can take a hike.
So I have possibly one of the deepest, most controversial questions of our age, and I hope I don't offend anybody by asking
No,
this.
go for it.
So, is it true that in Australia spiders have mana bars?
Mm.
Oh, good. You can go that one.
No, you can have this. None
No,
of
no,
us
no,
deal with spiders.
That's not my real question. I was just using that.
I was gonna say.
Well, no, the reason why is because Marianne Clark of Ghost House Paranormal says she can feel a presence over your shoulder, Angela, an older woman. Are you either, or what do you have anything to say to that, to respond?
So the house I'm in right now, I have to say the lady actually passed away here, an older lady that had a heart attack. And I've picked up a few times through the spirit box that there was an older lady that likes to follow myself around the house. So it wouldn't
God,
surprise
I love
me.
you,
I'm in her
Marianne.
room. So
That was
yeah,
awesome. Awesome.
that was really good.
Yeah, Ghost House Paranormal are kind of like real life superheroes. Like we've seen them like return missing kids and such. They put their money where their mouth
Oh,
is.
wow. That's
That's
beautiful.
amazing. Yeah.
Now, see, that's worth it. You know, when you can do something that beautiful and bring happiness to someone's life, then it's so worth it.
100%.
Absolutely. So, which one is the better cook out of you two, Angelina and Pete?
I don't cook.
And why did you mention cooking right after the spiders question, dude? No.
Well, don't you know in Australia they cook spiders and eat them?
See, that's something you would eat, Pete.
Yeah, that's something I actually would eat. I've eaten
Oh,
kangaroo. I
come
love
on.
kangaroo. Kangaroo is a very lean meat. Love it.
As a confirmed meat eater, I was with you until the spiders.
And Pete, I'm right along with you, brother. I will eat about anything once. As long as
me
it's
too.
not a fruit or a vegetable, I will try it.
Yeah, I try everything. Like I've had haggis. I've had balut, which is fertilized duck egg. I've had black pudding, white pudding. What else? I've eaten that.
Wait. Before I make a yummy noise, what is white pudding?
White pudding, and I don't like it because it's disgusting. But basically, the English eats. I had to try it. It's the pig fat off the pig's back, and they put it into a sausage. There's no meat in it. It's just pig fat. It is disgusting. Black pudding, which is blood sausages, really nice. Really nice.
Very nutritious.
Really enjoyed it.
Mason wants to know, would y'all eat dog or cats?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, no. No.
You paused.
Oh, there's a
You paused.
There's actually a limit there. Like I've tried crickets. I've tried a lot of different foods with doing what I did at the beginning of the channel. But yeah, dog and cat. No.
I might as well be truthful. There's enough Chinese restaurants here in Spokane, and I've eaten at them all, so I'm sure I've had dog or cat at least once or twice.
And the cat's in the kettle at the Peking Boom, the place that I eat at every day. We're going to hell for that bit. And you're all coming with us.
Restaurant that had a sign on there: if your cat or dog is missing, don't come blame us.
Actually, that seems like it's a joke, but there's a lot of signs like that in Oakland and whatnot as well. Because there's joking aside, there are people that used to take it seriously and would attack the mom and pop Chinese food restaurant places. You know, really, that's in Little China in California.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, what are some really cool places in Australia that you guys have investigated?
Well, I can tell you one. I'm going to let Ange tell you this one. I went down to South Australia to do some investigations with Spirit Crew Australia. Went down by myself. Unfortunately, Dan couldn't make it to that trip. But my favourite place of all time was the Gladstone Jail. Now I'm going to let Ange explain what happened and the experiences that we had there, which I can tell you now was one of the best experiences that I've ever had investigating. And I work very well with Ange on investigations, so I'll let her tell you exactly what happened there because she knows the history of the place and what it's all about because it's in her home state.
Before you hop onto that, Angela.
Yes.
Alicia would like to know, so what was it that was following you and your family around, and how did you find out?
Well, after many investigations in the past 4 years, we started getting the same name that would come through over and over again. And it was always every time my mother would get attacked. So she would get scratched, bitten. She had full bite marks on her arms. There was a lot of occurrences that happened with her. It was like a name called Ted that kept coming through constantly. You know, it was so many times that we couldn't get it wrong. Now, Ted, apparently, this person had died in this house years ago, the first house that we lived in. So after doing some research and on the location, there was a suicide over there. And the gentleman's name was Ted. So that's where that came from. Apparently, he's been following us ever since. We're not 100% sure. Look, I can tell you from the spirit boxes, this is what they were getting constantly, is the name and everything that was happening and the stories and that seemed to be adding up. But do I think we have more attachments? 100%. 100%. Could it be that we've picked it up along the way? I think because my dad... Sorry,
I didn't mean to interrupt. I got Asperger's. I was just at. So
That's
this guy's
okay.
still bothering you guys? Ted?
He comes and goes. He's not as forward as he used to be. I think because as years have gone on, we learned to stand our ground. You know, as you keep doing this, you know how to block things out, and it's all about blocking it out and making sure they don't cross that line. I still get a lot of activity in my house, quite a bit. But again, I don't take much value. I don't show that I'm scared. I brush it off. I go on. I tell it to leave, which is one of the main things we do.
Sorry to interrupt you there, Ange. The funniest thing when we were at this jail out at Gladstone, the feeling of a spirit with cobwebs, I constantly jumped, and good old Ange says she never jumps. She doesn't jump. She hops, skips, and jumps when she's scared. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's hilarious.
It's true.
I'm sorry, Ange. I've never seen anything quite like it.
Because at that I'm ready to run, but then I hop and then I skip and I jump and then I stop. So
I'm like, what the hell did you just do?
But I don't run.
Brian J. Laverty, the creator of Parapost, says, "Welcome to Parapost Network Facebook page." And he says, "Hey, everyone."
Hey, Mr. Laverty.
Hi.
Hi, mate. How are you?
So you talk about hop, skipping, and jumping and running. You guys want to hear a hilarious story that I guarantee is going to make your stomachs hurt?
Love to.
Absolutely.
Okay, no. So you have myself, you have DJ, you have my 480-pound friend James, and you have Rick. Now, Rick is about $130. DJ is about $160. James is about $480, and I'm about $340 at the time. So we're in the cemetery, and we're waiting for this dude to show up so we can sign our contract with the cemetery stating we can have permission to be there after dark. Well, we're bored, so we go into this huge mausoleum just to go check it out. and we're in there no more than 2 minutes, and you hear bang, and we look at each other, and all of a sudden it's just like Scooby-Doo. It's, hey, let's go investigate, gang. So we go down these stairs to the second level, and we're slowly creeping around, taking our time, checking every nook and cranny, and we hear it again, but louder. Bang! All right, that's it. There is something down below us. There's only one flight of stairs left. We're at the bottom of the mausoleum. We're going to capture something huge here. So we get down to the bottom of the mausoleum. We're walking down the hallway. The only thing in front of us is a wall and a room off to the right that is closed with a curtain. We get up to that curtain. I grab the curtain and slowly start pulling it. And you hear, bang!
Ooh.
All of us jump. Everybody takes off running. My 480-pound buddy is out booking my 160 and 120-pound buddy. And we get outside. Our hearts are racing. We're freaked out. And we walk around the side of the mausoleum. Guess what the banging sound was?
What?
It was a fucking sprinkler hitting the window.
I like that.
Oh,
Let's
man,
go.
It was one of those sprinklers that do that whole ticket, 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 ticket. I have never been that scared in my life as a paranormal investigator. And I've been pinned down. I've been physically attacked. I have been almost taken over by an evil spirit. That does not compare to a sprinkler hitting a window in a mausoleum full of dead people.
It is amazing.
We got home and we were laughing so hard about this after the adrenaline wore off. I'm trying to tell my wife as I'm clenching my stomach, red as a cherry tomato, not being able to breathe.
Oh, wow.
That is funny. I like that.
I wish I could have had that on camera.
Oh. I love it.
See,
I love
the
it
moments.
when you. Sorry, Ange, go.
No, I was just saying they're the moments you need to capture.
Yeah.
The funny ones.
I have to admit, I love catching moments where people do silly things. It cracks me up, especially when you're investigating, and there are times where you have to be serious with what you're investigating. But it reminds me of the story that I had with Dan. We're actually doing a live, and it was absolutely hilarious. So we've got a new location. It was a historical village where a whole heap of old buildings were bought on site. Now, we were really rapt when we got the location, so we decided to do a live and take our subscribers and viewers for a walk around to show them what we were going to investigate. Now, we had done the tour and we're sitting down in the middle of this open area just to finish off the live and have a talk to the subscribers and let them ask us some questions about the location. Now, all of a sudden, I've got the camera on Dan, and he's turned around to look at this sign, and you can see he's really concentrating. And he looks at it and sounds out this word, and he goes, "Perfugis?" And I turned around to look at the sign. I'm like, dude, it's Perfidos. The whole stream lost it. I'm starting to kill myself laughing. He's realised what he's done, and he's crying in laughter. But you get those moments that, like when you're trying to be serious and talk about a location and then something completely random, like that had nothing to do with paranormal investigating, but it was so random that you couldn't help but laugh at the situation.
That would have been gold.
Oh, it was. It's still, we got the live, so it's up on our channel and people can go back and watch that moment over and over again.
Hey, which episode is that so that people can go check it out? Do you remember?
Yeah, if you check out in our lives, it is the old Petrie Town walkthrough. It's one of the first video lives we did at Old Petrie Town. Beautiful location, mate.
Now, as paranormal investigators, we investigate dark places with equipment that can see in the dark, and so on and so forth. But we're all human. We all have, except for Cass over there, Mr. Alien.
Hey, what did I tell people?
But, we all have those moments where, you're in an investigation, the stomach gurgles, and, well, it just happens and somebody passes gas.
Oh, yeah. No, that definitely. Yeah, fart wizard over here.
So we're at a new location, and we've just set our camera up in the living room, and we see this big oak door open on its own from the bathroom. We creep up to the door, and right as I'm about to grab the door and open it, one of my other investigators lets out this huge fart, scaring the entire team. Have you guys had anything like that happen on an investigation?
I have to say no.
No, me neither. Sorry to say that.
Little do we know, somewhere there's a body with a secret.
Right. Alicia wants to know, where all can we check you guys out on?
Good question.
Okay, for us, you can check us out on YouTube. It's Night Watchers Paranormal Australia. We're also a part of Paraflex streaming service out of the United States. And if you have any German friends, you can also check us out on Ghostflix TV in Europe. We also have a Facebook group called Night Watchers Paranormal Group. And we do lives every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Tuesdays.
It used to be. Thank you for correcting me there. Used to be Thursdays. We had to change it to Tuesdays. Your turn, Ange.
Yeah, so I don't have a YouTube channel. What I love to do is I love interacting with the audience. So we do lives, non-stop lives. When we're in locations, we go live. We may do a live stream all night. I've got a host from the UK, Des Rich, our Cornish medium, that we stream on. He's incredible. So we have a medium on board, and then you got a team. So we'll have like a screen as we've got it right now, and all of us separated. So you'll be with us enjoying the location, just like all the audience is with us and experiencing it at the same time. So we're on Instagram, Twitter, the whole works, but just check out Spirit Crew Australia.
See, I like that you do the lives. That takes a lot of courage. We do the lives, similar reason, in our case, it's basically with the long form improvs. If somebody's lying or screwing or messing about the audience, somebody's going to catch them.
Exactly. I mean? And when things happen, you can't alter that. It's there. So when the audience have got their headphones on and they're like, we just heard this, we can go back and listen to it, and it validates, and it also seeing the viewers that involved and are like they're there experiencing it with us. It's just like joining in, and if we're able to give that to them, why not?
That's one thing I remember when I went down on my South Australian trip with Spirit Crew. Ange took me to a location that was just absolutely phenomenal. It was an old abandoned house. Now, the place itself is crazy with activity. Now, Ange was doing a live, obviously, and I was recording for our YouTube episode. But the funny thing is that we were standing there, and we're all standing in the middle of this like a kitchen dining room area, and a cupboard door slammed. Scared the crap out of all of us. And then I've backed up because the REM pod up the hallway was going crazy, and we're trying to film that. And all of a sudden, I screamed like a girl again. It was like pretty cool. But I know
recording of this.
Yeah, live recording. but a nail come out and hit me in the shoulder really hard. And I'm like, whoa. And I picked up the nail. It was still hot from where it pulled out of the wall. We couldn't even find where it came from.
That
wow.
me as a scientist. Now, would you say that it was too hot to account for any friction of being yanked out of the door or wall?
Well, it was hot because it was yanked. Like, I've pulled nails out of timber before, and there is a certain amount of heat that's generated from using that friction to pull it out of the timber. Exactly the same feel. It was amazing. I was shocked. And there was no way that anyone could throw it at me because, one, it come down and hit me in the top of the shoulder. Two, I was in a hallway, and you would have seen someone throw a nail at me.
Exactly.
Right. I guess what I'm trying to get at is whenever a spirit interacts with a molecular object, there's a certain level of energy transfer, usually ionic in nature. Now this should heat up the entire nail equally, whereas the friction being yanked out of the wall would be more or less centered on the nail itself. So I guess what I'm trying to say at is, did the spirit heat up the nail? And
I would say so. Because it was the whole nail that was hot. It wasn't when you reef it
That's
out.
what I was looking for.
When you reef it out of timber, it's the back end of the nail. And I gave it to Ange. The whole nail, the head of the nail was hot. The whole nail.
No,
amazing.
The paranormal consultant says, "How's everybody doing tonight?" Fantabulous, brother.
Good, thank you.
And Elisa, you are on fire tonight with the questions, girl. I love it. What kind of equipment do you all use on investigations?
And follow up, which is your favorite?
You can go first, Ange. I'll let you go first with this one.
Oh, I love my REM pod. I'm a big fan of my REM pod. To have that many sensors on one device, it can validate a lot. We've been into so many locations and you'd see it not even budging, nothing's going on. And then for it to all start flashing and you got the lights you can play around with, you got the temperature gauger on there. I mean, for me, I love it. That's my favorite piece. Of course, we use our K2 meters, our spirit boxes, our music boxes, in the process of getting an SLA. There's so many things that we love to use. But I think what my favorite thing is probably our eyes and our ears. Validating things for ourselves is my favorite.
I like it. Yeah. Do you guys have the one that goes like where the spirit can go banana sandwich and
Ange does. It's funny, her music box, like we've got the music box that we got from the States there, and it plays a creepy little tune. Now, me personally, I do love the spirit box, but intuition, like Ange said, eyes, ears and everything, intuition is a unreal thing. Your peripherals are amazing too. But we, with one of our episodes on Paraflix, we started doing a phone experiment, I guess you could call it. We were investigating this church. Now, this church is crazy. But we put one phone inside the church with a camera set on it with the music box. And then we went right outside of the church and dialed that phone. Now, Dan stayed inside to answer the call, and then he came out with me. We actually had a conversation with the spirit because we asked a spirit, who's there? And come through, clear as a bell, Father. Now, it's in a church. Pretty hard to, and like when you've got a camera set up on it, it's amazing. So for me personally, I love the music box, but I also love the experiments, like with your pendulums and all that type of stuff. I think it's amazing. Now, sorry, I sidetracked. What was your question again, there, Kaz?
I literally don't remember. You got me what you're talking about.
Sorry, mate.
No. As a shaman, all this stuff is very, very fascinating to me. Like I'm new. I'm a newbie. Like the position in the arc of the storyline of our show is I'm like the young dude that's like that explains things to the audience. Because I don't know what any of these machines do. I'm used to using like wind chimes and salts and summoning and things like that. So like for me, it's a shamanistic. Almost magical path, but this technology takes that ability, so you don't have to be, or whatever. It's like anybody can do it. You see what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So I really want to learn.
That's right.
For me, I I haven't used a music box, but I want to get one made. But instead of it playing a creepy tune, I want it to play the original theme song from A Nightmare on Elm Street.
See, I've got the Halloween theme song. And I've got
Michael Myers. I love you, Angelina.
Yeah. And I've also got Jason, Friday the 13th.
Okay,
Yes.
so
And
I
I've-
will not
yeah.
do a rendition of horror themes with a chicken voice in this crowd.
Yeah, I tell you, that was freaky. It does. It gets me every time. There's one bit on there where it's actually got a voice that comes through and it goes, "I see you." And do you know how many times the audience will go, "Oh my God, a spirit just said, I see you." I'm like, no, it's the music box.
You see,
At least you're honest. At least you're honest.
Oh,
I want to get a Freddy Krueger doll that has EMF detector in it. That
That's
every
cool.
time a spirit comes around, it says my favorite phrase from my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And that's the part in number 3 where the chick's watching TV. Freddy's head comes out of the top of the TV, tells her, "This is your big break, Jennifer. Welcome to prime time, bitch." And then slams her head into the TV.
I remember
I want that doll eyes to light up and say, "Welcome to prime time."
Nice. I like it.
We
I'd
might
even
be
buy
able to
one
build
off you,
that.
mate.
We might be able to build
My
that.
favorite tool out of all is actually my cell phone. I don't use any of the apps or anything, but like Angela over here, I like to go live, especially in the SGC. That's what we were notorious for. Every investigation, we were live. We had a chat right in there, you know, so the fans are hearing stuff that we're not hearing. They're seeing stuff we're not seeing. And like she said, you can go back in real time and validate that.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a camera, you have an EVP recorder, you know, and a flashlight that a spirit can manipulate. So if you think about it, you got 3 tools in one on your cell phone by itself.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly
I think
right.
I think the interesting thing is like, especially with your video cameras, recorders like GoPros and stuff like that, disembodied voices, unreal to catch on GoPro. We were doing an investigation with another group here in Australia called Haunted Down Under. Now, we were in a park where a young girl was murdered. Now, we were doing a spirit box session, and prior to starting it, we heard a gunshot blast plus a woman screaming. Now, if you hear that in normal time, you'd freak out, but we didn't hear it, so it was picked up on the GoPro. The funny thing about that is that we found out, we did some research, 50 years prior, a lady was shot dead and she screamed and a gunshot happened.
Well, you know, if you hear a lady screaming and a gunshot here in Spokane, especially where the neighborhood we live in, we call that a typical Saturday night. But
not here in Australia.
Wow.
Not being able to hear that in real time and actually going back and listening to that, I mean, that just had to be flabbergasting. You know, your jaws must have hit the floor when you heard that.
I remember Dan was editing the episode and he goes, "Pete, you need to come over here and listen to this." And went over there, perfectly cleared. Bang! Ah! Wow. Didn't hear it that night. Didn't hear anything like that. But it was, I'm glad that we caught it on camera.
Nice. And Alicia, with another fiery question for y'all here. Have you ever used the Estes method?
Only in Dark Souls 2, because in Dark Souls 1, Estes is a little different.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
I do. I do, and we call it, what do we call it? A sensory deprivation session. I've done, I would say, over 100 sensory dep sessions. We did an investigation with Spirit Crew Australia when they come up here to where I live on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. And we did this old silent movie theatre. Now, Ange, it was her first experience doing sensory depth or an ESPIS session method. But for me, closing off 2 of your senses to get interaction, because you start feeling things. It's not what you can see and hear, but it's how you feel. Now, Ange's first session with the sensory depth was amazing. The interaction that we got, now she does them all the time, which is fantastic. And really, anyone that is into the paranormal should try it at least once. Because the evidence you can gather and feel, it just outweighs any other evidence you can get. Because when you feel something, you start to believe it more, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And if I can build on your point, for those of you who are interested in pursuing mystical or light working type paths, all jokes aside, what they're talking about is actually very, very, very necessary. You have to be able to clear your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing, when you open your mind up a little bit more, that's the one thing I found is that I've started to experience things differently. From the first time I did it to now, it was really interesting. That first one that I got Ange to do, and her being prodded, you could see her facial expressions change, as in, because it was something completely different that she'd never experienced before. But on that same investigation, I did my sensory depth, and I actually felt heat, body heat, moving closer to me, which I've never experienced before. I got a couple of visions pop into my head, which never happened before. And I felt so ill that I had to actually leave the session and go and ground myself outside because I was going to throw up. So I think it depends on the person, because we're so narrow-minded as adults that we don't open ourselves up. Like when we're born as a child, our mind's open. We're dragging everything in. It's like, oh, look, that's why kids and animals can see spirit. Where as adults, as we grow, our mind becomes more narrow. And then as we get close to the age of death, our minds open up again. We start seeing and experiencing things, like, Ange, you could tell them about how you felt with your first sensory depth. That's how I feel. How do you feel with your first one?
Well, let's put it this way: you weren't impressed when I did it, because apparently my face started changing. Apparently I was doing some flinches. I honestly, I got to tell you, I loved it, because I think that's what we touched up with before, is our senses. To be able to go blindfold and to not see what's around you or hear, but just the voices, and to get those answers. And that was pretty intense. Like watching it back, I was answering things right on point. And that there's just validation on its own. You can't fake that. And we did that live with our host. So it was all live for the viewers. So everyone got to see it straight out, which I loved, and I got to go back. But I loved it. He made me a big believer and addicted to it after that. So thanks, Pete.
No worries.
So I have a question. As an outside observer, is it possible, just from what I've noticed with your species, is it possible that it's not that you guys have closed minds, but overstimulation? You guys have things coming at you from all directions, all times, and it's so much noise.
Cass, did you just refer to our Australian guests as different species? I mean, what? Because they're in a different country, they're considered aliens? God, you are an insensitive asshole.
Okay, I sense I did the thing, but once again, I don't know what the thing is. So can I just say I'm sorry?
It's all good, mate. For me,
okay.
I love you, Cass. I love you.
Thank you.
For me, the overstimulation, I think, with the sensory depth, I think when you get into that, this is for me, I can't speak for Angela, but for me personally, I focus more on paranormal things. When I do a sensory depth, I close myself off to normal things. I try and open myself up more to the paranormal to get those experiences, to gain the knowledge I need to find the truth, you know. So it's not overwhelming. It's just opening your senses to different experiences. So it can be overwhelming, but it depends on how you go in and act with that sensory deprivation session. And that's my opinion, and that's how I feel. That's how I do it. How about you, Ange? I don't know what.
I agree. 100%. I definitely have to go with what you said.
So I have to switch gears for just 1 second. Now, this really off the wall random question, totally off subject here. You guys like music, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you like the American heavy metal theme?
Oh,
yeah, I do. I do. But I love heavy metal, so I'm in.
All right, Pete, I got to know, who's your favorite heavy metal band?
That's a really good question. I'm pretty much. I'll go for a lot of different ones, from Metallica to Disturbed to Iron Maiden to you name it. If it's heavy metal, I'm going to listen to it. I love it. What's another good one? You guys have got some really good heavy metal bands over there, but I do love Disturbed. That's one of my favorite bands. I love the music. It's real hardcore heavy metal. Love it.
You know, I have to say, I actually named my daughter after a heavy metal band.
Really?
And you're going to get a kick out of this, because I'm going to say this name and you're going to either be like, who? Or you're going to be like, I love these guys. Pantera.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Who?
Pantera Road.
Hell yeah. Oh, I'm keen. Come on, Cowboys from Hell. You can never go wrong.
Where's this from?
Hell yeah.
It's just a popular, what we call butt rock band from
in
the States.
Check this out, bud.
Nice, nice. I like it. You gotta get that black tooth grin, mate.
Angela, what is your favorite heavy metal here?
Honestly,
you don't look like you.
I like heavy metal, but I'm more of a rock. I love my rock.
All right, what kind of rock? We got to know.
I love AC/DC. It's my favorite. AC/DC is my absolute favorite. I have to say. Alice Cooper. Love Alice Cooper.
You look like you like Billy Idol.
Sorry?
You like Billy Idol.
I do. I'm just a real old school. You know, when it comes to rock, I love my old school. I love my old school music. You know, I just don't think it gets better than that.
It was everything I could do, not to say my fault.
Heavy metal rock girl. Okay.
90s, yeah, I love my rock.
Have you guys heard of the metal band from the late 80s, early 90s called Green Jelly?
No, I haven't. Sorry.
Oh, you guys messed up.
So they do a song about the three little pigs.
Little pig.
Yes, I've heard them. Yes. Yep. I know.
Okay, what about King Diamond?
Sorry?
King Diamond.
Or Merciful Fate.
Or Merciful Fate.
I've heard it.
I've heard of Merciful. I haven't. I've heard of
Merciful
Fate.
All right. I'm going to tell you guys now.
Mm-hmm.
The guy you just seen, plus myself, was actually in a garage band. Literally in a garage. But we played metal. And I did a few songs, and I switched off with my guitarist, and he did 4 songs, which only one of them was really worth a damn. But like I did, let's see, I did Serial Killer, which was a pretty dark song. I did Radioactive Zombies.
Toucan, Son of Sam.
I did a song that my guitarist wrote, which you couldn't even hardly hear what I was saying, and it just, the lyrics sucked anyways. But you know, I did a couple of good songs, you know, and it was fun.
Nice.
You know, and I don't know if
Awesome.
if either of you two are wrestling fans, but I used to be a professional wrestler.
Really?
Well, yeah, I'm 6'5",
wow.
380 pounds.
He's
a
a
good
little
point.
guy.
I was bred for it, man. I've done backyard wrestling to where, you know, I loved getting hit and split open with the barbed wire.
Wow.
Wow.
Professionally, the guy that showed you his tattoo, we were supposed to do a double suplex on him, and I didn't fall back with my tag team partner. So now I'm sitting here holding this guy up in the air like this, going, oh shit, well, what do I do now? So I start walking him around the ring, and I go to fall back, but I snap my body into it, and he hits this mat, and he bounces about 4.5 to 6 inches off of the mat and slams back down. The entire wrestling crew that was there went dead silent. He's not moving at all. I think I killed my brother. So I run over there and I pin him real quick, and I'm like, dude, tell me you're fucking okay. He goes, that's fucking awesome, dude.
Nice. I like it.
I initially told him to kick out, and I continued to beat his ass for another 15 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great, you know. I mean, just being in the ring was one of my ultimate goals, because my father was a huge wrestling fan, and you know, he passed away shortly after I had my first professional match, and he never got to see it.
Oh,
So, you know,
hard.
I pursued the dream, not just for me, but for him as well.
Okay.
What about you guys? I mean, is ghost hunting the only dream you guys have had, or are there other dreams out there that you have accomplished or are going to accomplish?
I'll let you go first, Ange. Yeah, you go first.
Oh, look, my dream is pretty much exactly what we're doing, but putting it on TV. I really want to make something out of it. And the sense of that is just providing proof, you know, helping people behind the background, you know, helping families, people that don't have voices, you know, to know that there's people out there that will help them, you know, with much serious cases and so on. That's something that Pete and I, that's how we met, was through a private case. But that is something I love. But my dream was definitely to do something for TV, and it's something that we're working on, aren't we, Pete?
Yes,
it's in the works.
We are.
You know, I gotta say, Angela, you have got the look for TV.
Thank you.
The beautiful eyes, the wonderful smile, the personality. I think you would be a definite shoo-in for any TV station that's out there.
If Tater kills you live on camera, I'm gonna laugh.
Shut up, Cass. He would agree with me.
Oh, good. I agree. Look, the reason why we hooked up with Spirit Crew Australia, and I'm very close with Ange, because we have done private investigations outside of what we do with YouTube, with the streaming services. Because at the end of the day, Ange is right. We do this because we want to help people that don't have that voice. You know, to see someone that doesn't understand what's happening to them, or to have that pure fear and think that they're crazy. for us, because I try and get involved with the church and stuff like that to help us further this investigation. And now Ange and I are working together on private investigations. It's something that we're both very passionate about. But the whole thing with what we're doing with our pilot episode and everything we're organising for TV is about finding that truth. And for me personally, and I know for Ange as well, is that it's something that we're both very passionate about. For me, I want to get that answer, because I've seen things in the dark that can't be explained with a rational mind. So for me, I want to get that evidence, and I know it's the same with Ange, is that we both want to get that evidence. And even with Dan and Night Watchers, we're all trying to find that evidence. So for me, this is a very big passion, and if I can help Ange get her dream by getting on TV, I'm going to do it. You know, that's what it's about. And we're developing stuff now that it's just going to be mind-blowing for the future.
Or beyond mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Come on, let's just admit it. It's going to be batshit crazy.
Yeah, it is going to be batshit crazy. Because it's stuff that people haven't seen. What we're attempting to do is outside the box.
There's
like miles out. There's no box.
There's no box.
But it's going to be interesting just to see what happens. So yeah, this is for me. The paranormal.
Marianne has a pretty important question with a follow-up. She says, is there anything you guys would not investigate? And following up with that, she says she has a paranormal team and she has a missing person page. Should she, which she helps recover lost children and such, should she involve her team in continuing this journey?
100%, 100%. And for me personally, there's nothing I wouldn't attempt.
That's right.
I've done Ouija board sessions, I've done seances, I've done a lot of different things. But for me, I think if you're going to come under that paranormal umbrella, you need to experience every aspect of the paranormal.
Open mind.
Be open-minded about it. To gauge a complete story, a complete picture, you need to be open. How about you, Ange?
Absolutely. Agreed. I mean, if you're not ready to do a Ouija board, or if you're not ready to do a seance, don't do it. Be prepared, have your mind open, but make sure it's strong enough to do it. You know, so it took me, I'm still at that point where I've done it before. Do I like it? I guess it's always timing, the right place, the right time. I don't like bringing them into people's houses and doing things like that. It's just, I think, again, right timing and being mentally prepared to do something like that. But yes.
Now, question, how far are you willing to take that? If I invited you on some of my missions, would you go?
Yeah.
I'm talking about things like confronting Wendigo. Not just investigating ghost things, like actual going out there and confronting the things that go bump and bumping back.
Yep.
Everything.
I might hold you to that. We have a very dangerous mission coming up.
Look, I'll tell you one thing for me personally. We have one life. Why not make it the best you can? Experience as much as you can. Go for it. No holding back. Right. And I know Ange's the same. So
absolutely. I mean, you'll notice that in our pilot that's coming up. The pilot that we're doing, it is crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, but that's the point. We're trying to, we're expanding it. It's not just about paranormal. We're looking at the supernatural. We're looking at everything. So, that's what we fall under, the supernatural side of things. So, yeah, it's going to be amazing. I'm excited.
You may very well be called on to fulfill that.
When you say everything, are you talking like cryptozoology, ufology?
I've got shivers.
And
everything.
To follow up on what you said, Pete, you see things in the dark that you can't explain. I see something in the light that I can't explain. And he's just
what?
Nice.
But in all seriousness, I'm gonna get a little squishy, if you will. Angela, your desire and passion to help people not only understand their paranormal, but to help them with their paranormal in general is completely phenomenal. You know, that's
Thank you.
one of my main reasons why, you know, we wanted to start the Spokane Ghost Crew, was to help people with their paranormal. And I can definitely commend that. And you're on the right path. And you're freaking awesome. And Pete,
Thank you. Right back at you.
the fact that, you know, you're the same way and you're willing to help your best friend Angela accomplish her dream, dude, you're 10 times more of a man than a lot of the paranormal investigators out there.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Really do.
The utmost respect for the both of you. I think you're doing amazing things in this field. And man, you guys need to get your asses to the state so that we can work together.
Of course.
Or
100%
better yet,
agree.
let's all just meet in the
That's
middle
the
of Egypt.
plan.
Here's the thing. Number one, I'm scared of water, so I won't get on a boat in the ocean. Number two, I'm scared of heights, so I absolutely will not fly. So you guys are going to come to me.
We can do that.
We'll come your way.
We can knock him out like B.A. Baracus and then like pack him into a shipping crate, and then we'll be okay.
Hey, just give me some elephant tranquilizers, hang me from a net, you know, dangling, you know, 10 feet from the plane. You know, carry me like an elephant and we'll be good to go.
Nice. I like it.
Hey, I won't wake up for it. It'll be all good. Probably wake up with some bird feathers and some bird shit on my face, but, you know, hey, that's all right.
Extra protein.
That's right, extra protein.
Oh, I love
it. What are your guys' takes on the extraterrestrials? And do you guys have any hot spots in Australia, like Area 51 here in the U.S.?
You can go first.
I know in South Australia there is a spot where there's been sightings, but other than that, there's not that much down my way. What about you, Pete?
Look, for me, I think you have to be pretty naive not to think that we're the only life in the universe. I think look how big the universe is, and if you're silly enough to think that there's nothing more out there, then you need to have a look. But for me, between Gladstone and Brisbane, which is a long drive down the coastline, I've had personal experiences with what they call min-min lights. Now, min-min lights are an Aboriginal, I guess, myth about UFOs. Well, that's exactly right. I'm agreeing. Where a light will follow you hundreds of miles. Now, I had an experience where I was driving a truck back to Brisbane, and these lights sat right beside me in my peripheral vision, and I kept looking at them. They followed me for over 500 kilometers. They stayed exactly with me all the way. So UFOs, I'm a big firm believer of them, and I think you have to be silly not to.
How close are you to Black Mountain?
Absolutely.
Black Mountain. But I'm not sure about Black Mountain.
Okay. So you just said something that was very synchronous, and maybe need to talk to you later about the min-min lights.
Yeah, no worries. Will do.
So, what are some folklore down in Australia? Like up here, we have, you know, the Mothman, the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot, the Ohio Grassman, the Hellhound,
the Wendigo.
Wow. No, that's in Loch Ness. I don't think
we've got Hellhound as well.
Yeah.
We've got Hellhound. Shapeshifters.
Yeah, we even have a folklore of a Loch Ness monster here in the U.S.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool. A lake that they've never found the bottom to. Like, it's so deep they can't get anything down far enough to measure it.
Oh, wow.
Now, on that note, some of my colleagues rather in the Aboriginal circles say that basically the Irishmen brought the black dog with them Do you know anything about that?
I've heard stories about the black dog. Don't know very much about it. See, the funny thing is that my co-host Dan with Night Watchers, he's actually of Aboriginal descent. His grandfather was a full-blooded Aboriginal, and we've got we have a couple of locations that we've investigated that tragic things have happened with the Aboriginal people here in Queensland that we didn't really get much of an interaction, but the history is very dark. So when it comes to the Aboriginal people, we tend to tread very lightly because of the experiences they had and the way it is here in Australia. But for me, I think one of our biggest things here in Queensland is a Yeti, or what you would call a Bigfoot. Now, I remember when we did that 3-part investigation with Ange, we went out to a tunnel. Dan, myself, Georgia, Brenda, we went for a 3.4K walk into the bush.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
To these old World War II train tunnels. Now, we had paranormal activity in there, but we also had rocks thrown at us. Now, if anyone was to follow us, we would have seen them or heard them. And the bush is that thick out there that it can't be anyone without being seen getting past us to throw rocks at us. Now, the funny thing is this place has had a lot of people view or see Yowie, which is obviously Bigfoot. So it's funny with the cryptids.
Now, Yowie are shorter than humans, right?
Yes. No, they're taller. They're between your Bigfoot and a human. So halfway between the height of your Bigfoot is a Yowie.
Okay, so I'm still thinking of the little ones. I'm thinking of the right subspecies. Just I can't remember their names, but yeah, Yowies are like Australian version of a Bigfoot. It's slightly smaller, but taller than humans.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Well, I love hearing about different countries, folklore and mythological creatures. Because it just hearing the stories and everything it's just fascinating. I hate doing research, but I love doing research at the same time. So if somebody tells me instead of having to research it, it's 100 times better.
Interesting fact there with Ange. I know with Ange down in the Adelaide Hills, and I've seen it on the news here in Queensland. Down there in South Australia, they have the legend of the Black Panther running around the Adelaide Hills.
Well, that's what I saw. Do you remember the stories?
Yeah, I do.
For me, I reckon cemeteries are the worst. Hands down. I can go into an abandoned property. I can go into, and expect the most haunted places, but a cemetery, I caught on camera. This was probably the most frightening experience myself, but I caught a shapeshifter. I've got the video to it. And
I should like to see this
call it a
much.
shapeshifter because there's... Sorry?
I should like to see this very much.
I will send it to you. It's quite amazing, but at the same time, this almost made me quit, only because of what occurred with this. So I had some fans come down from Victoria, and I had taken them out for the night. And I remember about to walk into this beautiful historic cemetery, beautiful white picket fence. As I went to walk in, I saw these 3 figures. And I'm like, okay, guys, let's not go in there because obviously there's people in there. So that's the first thing you go to is you think they're human. Because who's going to go into a cemetery besides paranormal investigators? So we're like, you know what, they must be people. But as I'm watching them, I can see they're moving their arms, their legs, but then one starts running. And I'm looking, I'm like, okay, he's going. Went right through the fence. But at the same time, it's like it changed. Like different forms. And I sat there so confused for a while. And I thought, I haven't slept. Maybe I haven't slept. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. So I'm analyzing it in my head. But what got me was the rest of it. as I was leaving, I was still recording, and I was saying goodbye to my fans that came, but I also picked up my phone. So I've got the phone in my hand,
and I think we lost
she's
it.
Looks like we lost
dropped
it for a
out.
second. Right when it was getting really good too.
Oh, you lost me too. What happened?
No, we still see you. We can see
Hang
you.
on, mate. I've dropped out. Hang on.
Okay.
Give me 1 second and I'll get. There we go. I've got you back.
Australia heard us talking.
Here she goes. She's back too.
All right, yay! Both the pretty faces are back. All right.
You to continue
okay,
your story.
so as I was leaving, yeah. So where did it drop out on?
You're saying goodbye to your guests.
Okay. So as I was saying goodbye, I lifted my phone up to say goodbye to the viewers. And as I did that, you'll clearly see from behind me, you'll see something jumping over the fence. It looks like a human, but then it changes and it turns small, big, small, and then it turns into this silhouette, the black silhouette right behind me. And in the video, you'll be able to see me about to talk, but this is the part. You see a black hand just start coming over my mouth and over my mouth. And at this moment, you'll see me as if I'm gasping for air, like as if something terrifying touched me, something cold. I didn't see nothing. So at that moment, I turned my head to have a look and you hear it go, hey. So it waited at that very moment to be seen. But the most terrifying part out of all that is that I had a mouth infection for 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
So try explaining that one.
The
I tried to go to the
ionic
doctors and get antibiotics.
The ionic radiation will kill the natural body's bacteria, leaving it open for basically foreign bodies to take over.
That is not the reason, Cass. It is because this spirit was a dirty little critter. It was not washing his hands properly as he got an infection.
That's how you get pink eye.
That is true too. Be lucky you didn't get pink eye as well as a mouth infection.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh God,
Jeez.
pink eye in your third eye. Whoa.
Oh.
God.
I have to admit, when I saw that video, when Ange sent it to me, I was like, "Are you serious?" Like you can see when this thing grabs her in the mouth, you can see her turn around and go, "Oh!" Like she reacted, and I've never seen that where a person reacts to something like that.
Indeed.
Did it leave a bad taste in your mouth?
I was, when I look back on the footage and I was home and I was looking, going, am I losing it right now? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? Because it's so clear. There's no way you can you can't alter this. This is so clear and so real. A part of me didn't even want to put it out there because I thought this looks so fake. Like who's going to take me serious? But the thing is that I went and got it analyzed because I wanted that clarification. So then I could say, no, see, I got to analyze. This is real. And it's great because, I got that. And the thing is, I never expected to capture something like that. But it was also terrifying because to be able to have those effects of a mouth infection after, it was like, it's not what I was looking for. So that's why that also hardened me up to go, there's so much out there. There's so much to be seen, and that's what opened me up to say, I believe in a lot of things now. May I take
a guess?
Mm-hmm.
No, you said you had a foul taste. Let me guess. It tasted like when you throw up in a little bit in the back of your throat, but starting from the front, going back. Am I right?
Pretty much, yes.
See, what I bring to the team is physics. If all of this stuff is provably scientific, we just need to know how to look.
Oh, look, my mouth was raw red. Like it was so infected that, I'm going to the doctors and they're like, oh, could it be from this and that? I'm not going to turn around and go, yeah, no, it was from a spirit.
You
In
believe
Colorado, you can get away with that. Here in Colorado, you can get away with that because
Wow.
they respect Native American culture.
Well, over here they'll put you in a loony bin, so that's just not going to work for me.
No place is perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
it's like,
you
g'day, mate, you're going
believe
straight into the bin.
yeah.
you believe in your opinion that that spirit that gave you the mouth infection, could that have been like a mark of a demonic, if not demon-like?
Yes.
Well, demons aren't the only ones that use that particular frequency. A lot of
Yeah.
dead people do, spirits of rot, things like that, various nature spirits.
Well, put it this way: from that moment on, I couldn't stop seeing things. I caught a lot more after that. It's like it opened something up. I actually, from that moment, I saw frequency. So I could go into a location and all of a sudden, it's just like, when you put the TV on and there's like a certain frequency and you'd see it in midair and I'd go, what am I looking at? I'm losing it. It's something opened in me that I can't close. And that's the thing. It's like a door opening and you just can't close it anymore. So that's why I say to people, be careful on doing this, because once you open these doors, there's no closing them.
I guess your taste for the paranormal has soured a little bit.
Not at all. It's just made me more excited.
More
Yeah,
hungry
but she likes
for it.
sour candy.
Oh, see, she gets a sour taste in her mouth and gets excited. All right.
This is going to sound a little more out there than usual for Cassidy, but the tribes where I'm from, we have a theory about humans. Your species. Hominid sapiens. Like not race.
Quit calling our Australian folk aliens.
No, y'all are aliens, okay? Anyway, no, so
And you're normal. Yeah.
Oh, hell no, and I'm glad. The Lightwood family. Diddle-doo-doo. So the theory is that your mental capabilities are such that if you can observe anything, you can copy it using your brainwaves. And there's a lot of the tribes out there that believe it's humankind's destiny to bring that spark to the other races, and that causes a lot of problems. What do you think about that idea?
I think that's a good theory. I think it holds some legitimacy, 100%. I think when the mind, the one thing I found about research, when I researched how our mind copes with seeing things that it can't explain, a lot of the time our mind will put something else. If you can't rationally explain it, it'll try and make it legitimate. But your point with that, I think 100%. I think the paranormal is trying to wake us up. You have a look at the activity that's happened in the last couple of years. It's doubled. Like, that veil is thin as, and we're getting more interaction with spirit. We're getting more things happening. People are seeing more things. I think 100%. I agree with you. I think it's a theory that should be looked into further.
The old Lakota shaman here in America say that the natural world is screaming at mankind. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
I have a theory here too. Have you guys noticed within the past year or two, since the paranormal, the ET, the rates have, like you said, Pete, almost doubled. But all of a sudden, certain social media sites that have people geared towards the paranormal and the ufology side have been catching a lot of flack, have been getting banned, have been pretty much just, scrutinized in the community by the platforms themselves, such as Facebook.
Oh, 100%. I'll give you a little, I agree with you 100% because it is happening that way. I'll give you a little, someone brought this to my attention a while ago. Now, it was really interesting that you have a look at, for example, YouTube. and I love YouTube because I'm a part of YouTube. The thing is that you have a look at YouTubers that fake their content, right? They've got millions of subscribers. They're huge. It's massive. But then on the flip side of that, you have a look at paranormal investigators that actually do this legitimately. Look how small their numbers are. They've got 2, 3, 4, 5,000 subscribers, and that's it. So I totally agree with the theory that when someone is actually doing it legitimately and real, they're dragged down. When you fake their your content and it looks, oh, come on, that's fake, millions of people see it. Where when you get real evidence, not many people see it.
Oh, so you're talking about the ghost hunters, urban explorers that are out there and hear a twig break, and for 5 minutes they're rambling on that a freaking spirit's chasing them around with a butcher knife. They're going to cram up their rear ends if they catch them.
Yep.
And they get millions of fucking views. But yet us people that do it legitimately, that do it to prove it's real, to help people, we're getting snuffed out like a wet blanket on a fire.
Definitely so.
Where it's happening on YouTube, it's happening on Facebook, it's happening on all platforms but one. And that only one platform is the Parapost Network. Because that network is geared specifically for us in a Facebook-like atmosphere that you can connect your YouTube to it and show your videos and everything and not get judged or get shit talked about your evidence. You know, it's a fantastic platform that Brian Laverty created.
Yeah. And that's the problem with social media, with stuff like that, like YouTube and stuff like that. They're looking for views, but when someone fakes their content about anything, about UFOs, about cryptids, about the paranormal, they fake it, their views skyrocket. When you have a legitimate investigator, whether it be for UFO, cryptids, or paranormal, their content's always kept low. And that's the unfortunate thing with social media, is that your content isn't pushed out there. And Angela, you'd feel the same way about this, wouldn't you?
Why do you think I didn't push to put that video out? You know, again, I second guessed it because I went, people are going to think I'm fake, you know, because it's just, you're so careful with what you put out there. But you know what? Who cares? At the end of the day, there's going to be people that aren't going to believe it. And there's going to be people that are. So it's worth the
you can't please
gamble.
everybody.
You can't, of course.
At least your views would have skyrocketed, right?
Yeah. Well, I had a different Facebook page and I got hacked. So I lost my whole page and I had a lot of people on that. So I've had to start from the beginning again. And
you're building fast, so.
It is building and it's going to take time, but it is what it is.
That was a funny thing that happened. Sorry, mate. Funny thing that happened. Dan and I we were setting up for an investigation at Mapleton Cemetery. It's a cemetery local here on the Sunshine Coast. Now, we hadn't even started the investigation, but our static cam picked up a shadow figure. Perfect. Like, it moved. It was huge. It moved,
it's really
went
good.
around, looked at us, and dove into the ground. Now, we approached a lot of big YouTubers to feature our content. Like, we've been featured. We've had a lot of people look at that content and say, well, I can't disprove it. It's the most legitimate evidence I've ever seen. Now, we've had big major YouTubers that promote that, like top 5 type YouTubers, and they won't put our content on their platform or on their channel. So
Bleeding Violent Studios will do it, and if anybody wants to challenge you, they can deal with me.
Who would do it? Sorry,
Bleeding Violent Studios, my company.
Righto, mate. I will send you mine and Angela's content, and you can have a look at both of them.
And you know what? If they want to say it's fake, they can deal with global as well.
Actually, you'd be doing us a favor. We're a small channel and growing.
Well, mate, we'll throw it out to you. Like I know with my content, especially Dan, my content with that spirit figure that we caught, it was amazing. So we tried to even go back and debunk it, couldn't debunk it. We've been featured on a top 5 paranormal group in South Africa, in the UK. So there's a lot of people that see that content, but trying to break into that American market to get them to look incredibly hard.
Yeah,
We got
it's difficult with Americans.
we definitely got your back, buddy.
You're a legend, mate.
Like a
Appreciate it. But definitely, I will send you both mine, our video and Angie's
That'd be great.
video, and we'd love to get your feedback on it too for us personally.
Absolutely. That would be fantastic. So, you know, with everything that's going on right now in the paranormal world, you know, us actual paranormal investigators right now, statistically, we are outnumbered probably 15 to 25 to 1 with all these jackasses in the ghost hunting urban explorer world. And in my opinion, I think it's about time that we start finding like-minded people like ourselves. We build up an army, and we need to just go head first and exterminate these little bastards.
I like it.
So
let's call it
I
like
like
we
it.
feel. They're freaking cockroaches.
Actually,
They're faking. And hang on, let me finish my rant. You know, they fake their evidence. They make us look like a joke, and they give us the bad reputation. And I, for one, am sick of it. You know,
I agree.
I think it's time that we stand up and do something about it.
Absolutely.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kath.
100%.
I was just going to say, you know, those of us in the light working community, we are right there with you. You know, everybody on all sides of this has to join forces, you know, all of us.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly. And, you know, para-unity will never happen because para-unity isn't a movement or a statement like people preach it is all the time. Para-unity is in your heart. You show para-unity.
Yeah, 100%.
So what we need to do, instead of throwing around the beaten, battered, bloodied, and bruised para-unity, is we need to unite. We need to be united as one.
Yeah, I like that.
Of course,
we need
I
to
agree.
put
I like
a stop to all of these people that are faking evidence, that are, you know, doing everything wrong in the paranormal world. And we need to find a way to stop this.
Oh, of course.
Love, light, and
100%.
patience.
So we're going to have to have a meeting behind closed doors and see what we can do.
Look, the problem
Count
is,
us
and this is, yeah, 100%. The problem I see is that people go on about para-unity and all that kind of stuff, you know. The thing I see, especially with what I do with the streaming services and things of that nature, is that when a person, especially tours, people that do paranormal tours in location, the one thing I see, and it's really disheartening, is that when they get in there and get a little bit of notoriety, they let it go straight to their heads. Instead of sharing that location and letting everyone experience that evidence, they keep it for themselves. And it's, for me personally, I think it's rather disgusting. Why do that when, like, I had one location that we went on, and it's a public cemetery here in Australia. We're allowed into that cemetery anytime we want. But we got threatened with a lawsuit. It was disgusting by someone that does tours there. So what I'm trying to say is that paranormal unity is here in Australia. I don't know how it is in the States, but here in Australia it's disgusting.
Absolutely atrocious.
It's despicable. Yeah. And both Ange and I have seen it with us working together. She's got people down there in South Australia that she can speak to you until she's blue in the face that are just disgraceful, and we've got the same up here. So I think we need
groups that just won't even share their location, that you can't, they won't even look at you. And so, it's going to happen no matter where you go with these places. It's a shame.
It's not just Australia, guys. It's all over the world.
Yeah.
And the problem is, everybody thinks the paranormal world is a pissing contest. Oh, well, I captured an EVP. Oh, yeah, well, I captured a shadow figure. Who cares? You captured evidence. That's all that matters.
That's it.
That's right.
No evidence is better than the next.
But the point is,
have a conversation for that.
Yeah, if you captured that evidence, wouldn't it be sensible to let another investigator go in to validate what you caught if they caught it?
Correct.
Yes,
exactly.
Scientific requires repetition.
Yep. Instead, it's all, that's my ghost. You can stay away. That's my location.
Yeah, it's
it's ridiculous.
There's teams in Arizona, right, that do what they call haunted investigations, which is a freaking bunch of people walking around with equipment, getting a tour, and they're in haunted locations and they report what they get. But the only way that you get in to investigate is you have to take the tour. You have to pay them $60-$80 to go on a 2-3 hour tour, and you don't even get to investigate.
A 3 hour tour.
Hey, Cass, are you back in black?
I'm back in the saddle again. Every time you confront me with AC/DC, I'm going to hit you with Aerosmith.
Welcome to the jungle, buddy.
Back in black. Come on.
Now, for you, I'll do it. Back in black. I hit the sack. I need a nap, so I got to spring back. Yeah.
The more song lyrics you give Cat, he can't help it. He'll start singing.
This is lies, slander, and calumny. You're thinking of my evil twin.
You got another thing coming, Cat.
Oh, wow.
Got another thing coming. I hate you.
Hey, you should go balls to the wall, buddy.
My balls are always bouncing from the left and to the right. It's my belief that my big balls should be held every night. I resisted that once. No more. When she mentioned AC/DC earlier, I was like, oh, I've got big balls.
Oh my God, that's one of my crew members. That's his favorite song.
I can't stand that song, but it's so memorable.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's great. So, guys. Oh, go ahead, Pete.
Oh, there's one actual paranormal group that does tours here in Australia that Ange knows who these guys are, and I've got to give them a shout out, because what they do is that they donate most of the profit back to any money they pull in, they donate it back to the location to keep the location up. And that's Pariah Paranormal here in Queensland. An amazing bunch of people. Dwayne and his team, they take out people out to haunted locations. Whatever they ask for them to pay, they give it straight to the location. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
What I would like you to do is, if they have a Facebook group page or a fan page, send it to me in Messenger.
I will.
And I would like to talk to them and even, offer them a spot on the podcast.
No dramas at all.
You know,
Join it
the
like
way
that.
her camera is glitching out, it looks like she's posing in different like poses for a photo shoot.
Then the lightning flashes. It's a Victorian mode,
Come
and then
on.
it goes back.
It's because I'm glitching every moment. The reception here seems terrible. So it's like glitching. I'm trying to find the perfect reception.
When you sat back, it was better.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. This is a good
Why,
photo
it's so
shoot
good
here.
now?
Oh man, the photo shoot's over. All right, I'm done. Yep, I'm done. Bye, guys.
Jesus.
He's gone.
Oh,
Oh man. Oh, you guys have been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, for some reason, my charger is not working, and I'm down to about 2%. So I'm sorry, guys. I have to end the podcast.
That's all right. Hey, before we go, Kaz, can you
thank you for having us.
add me a friend request on Facebook, Pete Cazzolato. It's P-E-T Cazzolato, so I can send those videos to you. And
Yes, sir.
I've already got you, Brian, so no dramas at all, mate. I'll send you all Pariah's details on Facebook page. And yes, definitely thank you so much for having us a part of this podcast. Really, and thanks for coming on with me,
Thank
Andrew.
you
I
very
appreciate you.
much.
And Angela, Miss soon
Oh,
to
I appreciate you
be
too, bestie.
superstar on TV with them pretty little eyes and that beautiful little smile. Got that little nose I just want to boot.
Tater gonna kill you. I'm gonna laugh.
This hater is gonna agree with me.
She's a lovely, lovely girl. Very pretty.
You very are a lovely girl, and
I'm
definitely
going red.
look me up on Messenger. Send me a friend request. You know, we'll keep in
I'll share it.
contact.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Don't be afraid. You know, I won't hit on you too much. It's all good. I'm really a nice guy. I promise.
Oh, definitely.
But is there
I'll pass
anything
on your
you
details,
guys?
mate.
What's that?
I'll pass on your details, your Facebook page and everything, your profile to her.
Awesome. And is there anything you guys would like to say to the audience before we end the show?
You can go first, Ange.
So if you
See,
want to check
he
out
is
Spirit
such a
Australia,
proper
just jump onto
gentleman.
Facebook. And yeah, come and check us out lives and all. So thanks. And thank you, Brian and Cass, for having me. Appreciate it.
You are very welcome. There's always a pretty face on here that always gets this audience, so you're golden, honey. And Pete, you're not so bad yourself. They're good looking.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's the baldness, isn't it? It's the
Hey,
baldness.
it is. Except for me, I'm naturally going that way.
I've already gone that way, mate, so she's all gone. All the
Oh,
hair's
see,
gone.
yours is in the back. Mine's going like this. I can't even rock a mohawk anymore. It's sad.
Oh, no.
Did you guys
No.
know that if you line enough bald guys together, you can bounce the sun off their heads and kill Dracula?
Oh,
I love that. I love that,
hey,
Cass.
Kat,
Thanks, I guess.
did you
That's
know
right.
that with your alien DNA that we could pretty much, you know, cut a main artery and spray a werewolf and kill it?
Yep. I'm
I
there
don't
with you,
like
brother.
this plan. No science needed.
All right. So no dissecting the cat. Okay.
Yes,
Well, that
seriously,
just ruined
I
my
like
night
where
right
I am.
there. At least I have Angela over here.
Radio.
All right, guys. You guys have been awesome. Definitely go check out Night Watchers and check out the Spirit Crew. You know, I'm definitely supporters of you guys. I will back you 110%.
Thank you.
And Cass,
Yo.
guess what?
Well,
It's Freddy time.
it's Freddy time.
Welcome to prime time.
I got to work on my Freddy voice just for you, bro.
Yes, sir. All right, you have to say kill the hobbits is precious before we go.
The hobbitses? Kill them, precious. Kill them.
All right, guys. Have a great night. Peace out and much love.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.